Welcome back to this week's Zoom call or this week's live call. This is a follow-up to our weekly call, the weekly Saturday training and strategy call. And today we're going to talk about specialized knowledge as it pertains to real estate investing. Last week we went over the pursuit of excellence and what that looks like to pursue excellence as a real estate investor. I think we shared a lot of great information for you guys. Hopefully everyone took some notes from that. And this week, we want to just continue with that same course of thought. How do we obtain excellence in our real estate investing career? And one of the ways that we do that is through specialized knowledge. And so, what do we mean by specialized knowledge? Most people, when they think about knowledge when it comes down to real estate investing, they automatically think about a realtor and getting a realtor's license. But there's so many things that go into knowledge when it comes down to being a real estate investor that a lot of times we aren't aware of, contractor's license, learning, just taking random courses to learn random things about real estate, zoning courses, all of these different things that not only do we not know about them sometimes, but a lot of times we don't even know where to find them. Most of your local municipalities have classes that they teach on various topics when it comes down to the local zoning laws and local zoning changes. And those are the type of classes that we want to make sure that we're focused on in 2024 to help propel our business forward. This call is going to be a lot quicker this week than previous weeks. I'm not really feeling 100%. So, but I wanted to make sure that we still got on here and we still had this call because as we ramp up our business in 2024, we're almost done with the month of January. And it's really important that you guys continue to have that fire and tenacity to continue to push forward through the rest of this year, especially through this first quarter. This first quarter really sets you up for success through the rest of the year. So we wanted to make sure that we're able to do that and we're able to provide as much insight as we can on that. So let me get my notes up. So what does it really mean to have knowledge? We all heard the saying that knowledge is power. And that is very true. But, when it comes down to being a real estate investor, not only is knowledge power, but knowledge is money. Knowledge is literally income. Knowledge is literally being able to demand more out of a property because you took the time to find out all of the different things that property was able to do. If you're sending me a property and you already tell me how many, if say a vacant piece of land, you've already done the research to figure out what could be built on this piece of land. For me as a buyer, that's profitable. That's one more step that I don't have to do as the end buyer. And so the more that you can do, the more knowledge you can obtain, and the more information that you can share with your potential buyers, the better. And not only on the buyer side, but also on the seller side. The more information that you can provide to your seller, the more knowledgeable you are when you go and talk to them, the better and the easier your transactions are going to be because they don't have to second guess whether or not you know what you're talking about. When we talked about the pursuit of excellence, one of the things that I like to do is to talk about other high performing careers, right? So when you go to a doctor, you want a doctor that is knowledgeable about what you're going to the doctor for, right? If I'm going and say I have a heart condition, I want to go see a specialist who specializes in cardiology rather than just a general practitioner. Because they can tell me that something's wrong with me, but the cardiologist is going to be able to tell me specific details on what's going on with my heart, with my circulatory system, and whatever it is. They're going to be able to give me specific details.
Well, and they're also going to know how to run, what tests to run while doing it as well. So I think that's also something to think about. It's like they're not just a specialist to be a specialist. They're the specialist because they know the right test to find out the information that they need to know to help you out.
So true. So true. And how do we do that as a real estate investor? Well, you want to be the person that specializes in real estate. You want to be the person who knows what you're talking about when you go to talk to someone. Now, If any of you guys have dealt with realtors, you'll know that not every realtor is knowledgeable. Not every
Hmm.
realtor can tell you what can be built on a R3 lot or R6 lot or a RM20 lot.
Not every realtor knows how to comp a property.
Yep.
Sometimes they're just making it up and they don't know why they came up with the price they came up with. They just came up with a price, but they don't actually understand the neighborhood. They don't actually understand the market. But you should.
And being knowledgeable, this lays the foundation for us to be able to make informed decisions. Um, One of the things that we find to be a a big negative when it comes down, especially in like the wholesaling arena, when you look at people who are wholesalers, is a lack of knowledge sometimes. And because of the lack of knowledge, it's harder for someone to make a decision. If you send me a property and you didn't give me all the information, I can't make a sound decision on whether or not this is a good deal because I don't know the square footage. I don't know the rental market. And if but as an investor, if you're trying to move properties fast, you're trying to make the most that you can on every deal, you have to be knowledgeable enough you have to be knowledgeable enough first to understand the information that you're looking at, but then secondly you have to be knowledgeable enough to relay that information to the person that you're talking to, whether that be
Mhm.
your cash buyer, whether that be your contractor, whether that's your title company. When you're talking to the title company, they need to know there's certain information that they'll need to know. And if you're the more knowledgeable you are about your seller and about your buyer, the better that
Mhm.
transaction is going to go for.
I mean,
Um,
knowledge is key. I mean, it's so important to have that and to try to make sure that you're obtaining as much as you can. The nice thing about working in specific markets and not being scattered everywhere is the simple fact that you're going to be able to eyeball a property and kind of say, okay, this market is a 250 $300,000 ARV market. So I can eyeball this neighborhood or this location and kind of have an idea of about how much property should be going for and if the number even works when I'm just glancing at it.
yeah, yeah, that's so true. And how do we do that? As a real estate investor, one thing is continuous education.
Mm-hmm.
You can get continuous education in so many different ways today. Simply by doing what you're doing right now, watching us on YouTube, we're giving you knowledge and we're sharing information with you guys. This can count as continuing education. Secondly, your local real estate groups, your local RIAs, your local, we just went to the local RIA meeting
Monday.
on Monday,
Yeah.
and they were talking about private money and it was really good. We learned some new strategies that we hadn't thought about when it comes down to utilizing private money and doing, sub-2 deals and seller finance deals.
And we also were able to reconnect with some people that we hadn't connected with in a
Very true.
while. So without going to the meeting, we wouldn't have been able to reconnect with certain people. And I thought it was such a great meeting. It was such a great networking meeting. Let me
Yeah,
say that again, a networking meeting.
yeah,
Okay. We go there to network, we go there to meet people, and we're going there to reconnect and rekindle those relationships that we once had or new relationships.
yeah. And I'm glad that you said networking because that's the type of continuing education that is. Networking education is going to your local groups, getting into Facebook groups and learning from the people in those groups. And then you also have formal education. Formal education is taking courses. If you are the type of person who likes to take a course and get certificates, you can go and sign up for various real estate related courses and get certifications on various different things. You can do that through some of your local colleges. They sometimes offer tuition free courses. You can search that out on Google. Formal education could also be again getting your realtor's license, getting your contractor's license. Going and taking a course at a local supply company because they have a course where they're teaching you about some new product that they're selling. Those are all formal courses that you can go and take that can help to continue your career as a real estate investor. And then there's self education. Self education is probably the biggest market going right now in the world. And the greatest thing about it is that we have the ability to self-educate. We have the ability to get on platforms like YouTube and search out information that we're looking to learn and learn from various people. You don't have to learn from just one teacher who's teaching you one way of doing it. You can learn from various people and then get a a large array of information that you can then take and use for yourself. So we really enjoy self-education. We really enjoy getting into YouTube. I'll have this saying where, if I'm trying to learn how to do something new and I go on YouTube, I'm gonna watch 3 to 5 videos, and then I'm gonna take the information that I get from those 3 to 5 videos, and I'm gonna say, okay, which parts were the same from these 3 videos, or what parts were different. And from doing that, I can start to come up with my own strategy for doing whatever it is. Something as simple as doing some work on my car. I watch 3 to 5 videos on how to change a sensor on my car, and then I'm gonna take what I think is the best information for me based off of what tools I have available, and I'm gonna go out and do that job. You could do the same thing. You watch us, you watch any some other real estate investors, and then based off of the tools that you have available in your tool belt, you go out and you do the task in a way that best fits you.
But you know what, Ken, one thing which you're just saying that is that the ones that you watch that have all the tools, that have a garage full of tools, they complete that task faster. They complete that task more proficient.
Yep.
They have the ones that have the laser cuts and all of these really interesting tools, and they're able to do so much more, so much faster. So while you have a little bit of tools, keep trying to learn more so that you can add more tools to your tool belt.
Yes, that is so good. That is so good.
So start off with the hammer, and you're just hammering, hammering, hammer, because that's all you know how to do. But then now you got to add a screwdriver in. So now you can hammer and you can put that screw in and screw it in. And then you want to get the flathead, and now you want to get, you want to get the saw, and you want to get all your tools that you can so that you can perform all the different tasks that you're going to need to do, and you're going to be the most proficient one out there when you have wholesaling as the exit strategy. Yeah. When you have fix and flip, when
not just that, when you have access to private money for the fix and flip. So not only can I do the fix, can I do the fix and flip, sell the fix and flip as an exit strategy for my buyer, but I can also say, well, I also have access to private money if you need that.
Yes.
So now I have another tool that I can relate to make my deals go easier and faster.
Yeah. So knowing different exit strategies and then being proficient in them is going to give you the best way of getting into real estate and getting out of it. So it's all about not only getting in, but knowing how to get out. What is your exit on this property? Is your exit a buy and hold? Is your exit to wholesale it? Is your exit to fix and flip it? Is your exit to fix it and then hold it? Like, these are all different strategies, and those are different tool belts. Am I going to try to subject to it? These are just different tactics. But as you proceed, you don't want to just have the one tool all the time. All you know how to do is wholesale. That's your hammer. Wholesaling is the hammer. All I know how to do is wholesale. All I know how to do is wholesale. All I know how to do is flip. All I know how to do is flip. Okay, well, that's great. Well, what about when you get a property and you realize you're a flipper? So this is for the people who say, oh, I'm flipping. What if you get this property and you realize you don't want to flip it, but you already have it under contract? Well, now you might need a pivot, and now you might need to go ahead and wholesale it so you can make some money off of a deal. Like, you should never walk away from a deal with no money in your pocket.
That's so true. That is so true. And I'm glad that you said it that way, too. We get caught up with wanting to be singular focused, but it's not a bad thing to know more than one exit strategy. So Proverbs chapter 1, verse 5 says, let the wise hear and increase in learning.
Oh, so good.
And this is so true when it comes down to real estate investing, right? Continuous education is the pathway to mastery. If you want to master whatever endeavor you're doing, continuing education is the way to do it. If you ever get to a point where you feel like you know everything about a topic, it's probably time for you to really do some self seeking, because I challenge you to say that you never know everything that you can know about a topic. I don't care if you have 50, 100 years of experience in real estate investing, you don't know everything. Anybody, once you start feeling like that, you start to lose money. You literally start to lose money because you feel like you already know everything. When that, and again, like not to bash on realtors, but one of the things about a realtor is that a realtor sometimes they think they know everything. So it's hard to get them to understand wholesale strategies or subject to strategies, or seller finance deals, or other creative ways to do deals. Like we know people who literally trade real estate. We know people who trade real estate for other things. You got a $65,000 property and a $65,000 truck. That could be made into a deal, believe it or not. But when you have people who aren't looking to seek out continuous education and learn something new, that saying, you can't teach your old dog new tricks. Well, don't be the old dog. We need to all if you are the old dog, be the old dog that's at least willing to learn a new trick.
No, be the puppy. Yeah. Always eager to learn.
With a childlike zest for learning.
Yeah. So that and what I'm with Proverbs 1:5, let the wise hear and increase in learning. So if that's what the wise do, what do the fools do?
That's a good one. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I'm just gonna let that sink for a second. I'm gonna drop that and I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna let it marinate. Okay, because if the wise are increasing in their learning, then the fools are doing the exact opposite. They're not increasing in their learning. Okay, so King Solomon know what he was talking about. Okay, this is the wisest man, that wisest king. There was going to be none like him. Okay, and he clearly says, if you're wise, you increase in learning. If you're a fool, you do not.
And not only that, he taught people too. He taught people. He taught other kings and queens how to run their countries.
Yeah.
How to be a better ruler. And in doing so, though, he learned. He was learning from them. So it's very circular when you think about it in nature. And man, that was so good. What do the fools do? Don't be the fool.
Don't be the fool.
We don't. None of us want to be the fool, right? None of us want to be the person who has to admit that we were foolish in our endeavor, and because of that, we lost the deal, or we lost some money, or we got into some legal troubles. So don't be the fool.
But if you happen to find yourself in a situation where we all found ourselves in that situation where we were playing the fool when we shouldn't have been, that's the time that you have to say, okay, that won't happen again. I won't be that person again, because that was working on me, not for me. Okay, so that's another pivot. So knowing that, be wise and make sure that you're increasing your learning.
Yeah. Now, how do we apply this to our real estate? How do we apply knowledge to our real estate investing? One of the things is start with one single thing and then continue to build on. We don't want to be the person that's distracted by every shiny object, but we don't want to get stuck on one object that we ignore the rest of. So just start with one single strategy. Start learning one strategy and then learn the next strategy. And like Bunny said earlier, if you're a fix and flipper and you've already, somewhat mastered, or you somewhat gotten yourself a foothold in fix and flipping, then pick up a book about wholesale. Watch some videos about wholesale.
Yeah.
Because you never know when you have to do something like that.
Or you never know when you need to maybe wholesale a property, or maybe you need to figure out how to find your next property. You're learning the wholesale technique of finding property so you can make more money in your fix and flip, so you're not paying the wholesaler a fee.
Yeah, because I mean, if you buy a wholesale property from us, you pay $10 to $100,000 in a wholesale fee for us to wholesale that property to you, depending on what type of property we're talking about. So if you can learn how to wholesale on your own as a fix and flipper, and you can find properties and source properties yourself because you learn how to do that, then you can make that money. There's money that
Hmm.
you can make now. And again, this is not everybody should go out and learn how to wholesale because they're going to be wholesaling, but
At
if you're
least,
going to be doing
yeah,
the task, you should at least know how that process works.
yeah, at
And
least
then
have a
still
basic
use the
knowledge.
wholesaler, right? You can
Yeah.
still use the wholesaler to buy your properties. But you have the knowledge on how to do it. I still take my car to the mechanic to do stuff that I just don't want to do on it, but I know how to do it. People always say, "Oh, well, they took advantage of me because I didn't know X, Y, and Z." Well, it's harder for a person to take advantage of you when you have a basic understanding of what they're
Hmm.
doing. I may not know how to rebuild my engine, but if I get into my car and I start it up and it don't sound right, I at least know, hey, something's not right because I have a basic knowledge of what my car should sound like, how it should drive. Yeah, it wasn't doing this beforehand because I have driven it and I have experience with it. And that's kind of the same with our real estate investing career. You want to be able to have enough knowledge that you can at least use it as a risk management system, right? You have enough knowledge to where again, fix and flip versus wholesaler. If you're a fix and flipper, you want to understand wholesaling enough so that you know what questions to ask the wholesaler when they bring you a property, so that you can make sure that they did their due diligence. Because if they didn't do theirs, then that means that you have to do it. But you can also use that as a bargaining chip with that wholesaler. Like, hey, I need for you to go and get this information for me because I'm buying this property from you anyway. So I need you to go and get this information from me because I know what I'm looking for and what I need to look for in this deal. And that can be very profitable and it can save you some headaches.
Yep. And not only that, but if you're the flipper that's done a few flips and now maybe you're thinking about holding on to some of those, you need to know how to exit into that. There are strategies that you can exit into doing that fix and flip and turn it into a loan, refinance it into a long-term loan if you're using hard money or using private money. So there's different strategies and different things that you can do to pivot from one way or another.
So another one from Proverbs, right? Proverbs 24, verse 3 and 4 says, teach us about building our house with wisdom and understanding. A perfect, and this is perfect for real estate investing, right? Teach us about building our house with wisdom and understanding. If you're going to be building a career out of your real estate investing endeavors, you want to make sure that you're using wisdom and understanding. Seek wisdom on the things that you don't know. And then once you get the wisdom, now you have to seek understanding, right? It's one thing to have knowledge. And we say that knowledge is power. Knowledge is only power once you get an understanding of what it is that you're learning, right? Um,
I mean, a good example is it, if I give you a set of keys and you don't know how to start the car up and to use the power that the car has, you won't go anywhere. We have an almost 2 year old. If we hand that almost 2 year old keys to the car, he's not. It's just keys to him. It's toys. He's just jingling it. But he doesn't understand the power that is in the keys that he has holding in his hands. Okay, so just having it is great, and that's a great step because you have to be there first, right? So first you're going to get that knowledge, and then you're going to understand. Okay, you remember when you first started driving that car? Remember how you had to learn how to stop, how you had to learn how to go, how you had to learn how to go push the blinkers left and right, and if you push it up or down. Remember when you had to think about, I want to go left, so which way do I push the blinker? What is it called? The turn signal. Which way do I turn it? Do I go up for right or up for left? I remember sitting there trying to figure that out when I first started driving. I was sitting there having to think about it. And now I have an understanding and a knowledge. The knowledge I had, but I didn't necessarily have the understanding. And so after years of driving, I now have the understanding, the knowledge that I can say I'm wise at driving, right? But with that was time and experience that it took and training, and doing it on a day-to-day basis. So just having the pure knowledge is a great start, but that's not where you stop at.
That is so good. That is so good. Now look, chapter 4 of this book, this is all based off of chapter 4 of our new book, Think and Grow Rich in Real Estate. Now, if you read the original Think and Grow Rich, chances are you took a lot of information from that book. I don't know about you, but it was a powerful book for us when we first listened to it. We listened to it on Audible. And it continues to be a powerful book that I like to get in there and listen to at least once a year because it's something that I didn't take from it the first time. And so, one of the things that we incorporated in our version of in our real estate version of the book is a lot of biblical references. So like the ones we just went over, Proverbs. There's so much power in those verses. So if you get a chance, please go back and read them for yourself and read them over and over again so that you can not just get wisdom and information, but you can seek understanding about what they're saying, right? Because this is the proof that's in the pudding. They say the proof is in the pudding. Like this is the proof. This is the proof of what is being said that it is real. Luke 14:28-30 talks about the importance of thorough preparation, which this resonates deeply with the planning for your real estate venture. Most people don't think about how much planning goes into a real estate deal. There's a lot of planning that goes into it. And if you skip out on the planning phase, then you're gonna have more challenges during the doing phase. So, verses like this, chapters in the book, in scripture, in the Bible, such as Luke 14:28-30, they can be powerful for your real estate investing career. And those are things that we should really seek to take a lesson from. What does it mean to have thorough preparation when it comes down to real estate investing? This does not mean, analysis by paralysis, paralysis by analysis, that you overanalyze things so much that you never actually pull the trick on the deal. This means getting enough information so that you can make a sound decision on what it is that you're working on. You want to be constantly moving to the next step. And you can't move to the next step until you master the first step. You need to step onto the step, get a firm foundation, a firm footing, and then move on to the next step. Because the problem is, if you take the steps too fast, you end up losing your step and you fall back. And now you end up back where you started at, but you're hurt. And now it's harder to get back up the steps. So we want to make sure that we're seeking a firm foundation at every level, every step. And again, one of the ways that you do that is through continuing education, through joining challenges that can impart information into you, through joining networks like KB Wealth Builders, like our Facebook group, and following us on YouTube, so that you can constantly be getting information and constantly be keeping up with the market trends. We can share information with you that you can then go back and research for yourself to get a better understanding of the niche that you're choosing to go into.
And a little bit on that real quick, Ken, is if you have yet to join our Facebook community, you are doing yourself a disservice. That is where you can go and ask us questions. That's where you can go to further network with other people who are like-minded like you. You don't know what deal you might have that might come through on the Facebook, on our group, on our group. It's not just for us, it's for you. Okay. So make sure that you are getting on the group and getting active and getting in there, not only getting in there, but also get in the chats. Okay. Like, let's start really trying to produce something this year. Let's produce some fruits that we're going to be able to eat later. Okay. So if you hungry, like I'm hungry, you need to get on that group and you need to go ahead and start networking and communicating and asking the questions that you have. Don't sit there with the question because you don't want to go in there and ask. Don't sit there with a question.
That's what the fools do.
Okay, right. Yep. Don't sit there with a question, twiddling your thumbs, talking about, oh, I wish I had a mentor who could tell me an answer, when you have a Facebook community that you can go on, a KV Wealth Builders, where you can go on there, where you can connect with us, where you can get some answers, where you don't have to sit there with the dunce hat on.
You know, and to add to that, I'm gonna challenge you guys also. If you know the answer, share the answer. You know, this is not high school. This is not elementary school. You don't have to be afraid to raise your hand and answer the question that somebody's gonna laugh at you because, oh, you knew the answer to the question, the answer to the question. This is not that. Okay. And if you run into that, trust and believe that we'll try to moderate that out.
Yeah.
Because we want to make we want to build a network. We want to be able to do deals with you guys. We want you guys to be able to do deals with each other. And the only way to do that is by making it a questions. So if you get into the groups and someone asks a question and you know the answer to the question, answer it.
Yeah, if you get in there and you have a whole thought about a deal you've done, or you're just wanting to share, get on there and share. You want to share how well you've done and how the real estate, and share your testimony about what real estate has done for you. Get on there and tell us about it. Okay? Do not be shy. You know what I mean? What's that? Squeaky wheel gets the oil, closed mouths don't get fed. Like, we can go down the list, boo. But if you are hungry, open your mouth and say something.
Yep. And so, you know, as we get ready to wrap this up, you know, chapter 4 of this book is not just about acquiring knowledge. Okay. We're not just talking about acquiring and hoarding knowledge. We're talking about embedding and weaving this knowledge into every aspect of your real estate journey, right? Everything, you know, again, I love referencing the Bible because the Bible is so true, right? It's precept upon precept and what is it? Concept upon concept, precept upon precept. Like, that is how it is with your real estate career, right? When you learn something about financing and about private money, that goes on top of what you learn about fix and flip, and then that goes on top of what you learn about about wholesaling. That goes on top of what you learned about zoning. That goes on top of what you learned about development practices. And once you start to develop all of this information, it starts to weave itself together. And before you know it, you have this strong bond. You know, it's like, you know, you weave your fingers together, you end up with this strong bond that it's harder to break because you have so much information that is able to work and complement the other knowledge that you know. So, you know, if we're looking to build an empire, an investment empire, that is what we want to build. And in an empire, everybody has their job, has their task, and they all build up on each other, right? The blacksmith, you know, the soldier needs the blacksmith to make weapons, but the blacksmith needs the miner, yep, to go and get him ore so that he can even have a product to turn into the weapon. And that's what we have to learn, is that we all have a part to play. But the more that you know about the other person's part, you know, the miner can benefit from understanding what the blacksmith does, because now he can understand, okay, this is the type of ore that he wants, because he builds cannon, but this guy builds swords or makes swords, so this is what he wants. And it's kind of like that with real estate. You know, you start to learn your buyers. You know that, okay, this person develops property, so they want this type of but this person is a fix and flipper, so they want this type of property. But this person is a buy and hold person who wants to put renters into it. They don't want a full good tear down property. They want something that they can put $10,000, $20,000, $15,000 into it and put a renter in.
What they call that, lipstick on the pig.
Yep. So once you start to understand these different concepts, now you can start to create better deals, and you can really start to build that real estate empire that you've been dreaming about. It is possible, people. You know, don't think that it's not possible, but it's only possible once you start to get the wisdom that then turns into the understanding. And the understanding is what produces the fruit. That is the doing. That is the becoming. As Bunny's been on this thing the last couple of days where she says that we have to be becoming. We're always becoming. You're becoming more. You know, for somebody, you're becoming a whole self.
The question is what are you becoming? Since we're always becoming, we're always in a becoming phase in our life. It's just, what are you becoming? What have you put your energy into? What have you put your thoughts into? What have you put your gaining more knowledge into? Was it scrolling through Facebook or looking at TikTok reels? Or was it putting effort and energy into your real estate business? What was it? Because we're becoming
something whether you want to or not.
So depending on what you're trying to become is going to depend on what you're going to put in. Yeah. All right.
Listen, y'all, we really hope that this, that this inspired you. But on a deeper level, we just hope that it motivates you to go out and seek wisdom and knowledge, and then turn it into understanding. And as you continue to grow, make sure that you are applying the information that you learn in a very wise manner. We want to make sure that you come back and check us out. Make sure you hit that like and that notification button so that you can get notified when we're making these videos. We're going to be doing this every Saturday, starting at about 2:30. We started a little late today because I'm feeling under the weather, but listen, it was important for us that we still did this video and that we still went live and we still reached out to you guys because like we said, knowledge isn't just for you, knowledge isn't just for us. The knowledge is communal, and we all benefit from the information that we share. We're learning stuff just the same as you're learning stuff. We're becoming the same way you're becoming. So let's continue to do that together. We want to think and grow rich in your real estate endeavors. Okay, that is what we're really, really think that there's. 2024 is going to be a year of becoming. We're all becoming something, and now it's time for us to decide what we want to become. And if you have questions, ask your questions. Get into the comments, ask your questions, but then seek wisdom. Seek knowledge in the Bible. There's so much knowledge in the Bible, y'all. We're going to share some verses with you guys over the next week that are going to really have you thinking. And I want you, when you see us sharing these verses, whether that be on TikTok or on Facebook or on Instagram, make sure that you go and that you look them up for yourself, you read them for yourself, and then come back and give us your take on it. What did you take from this verse? Because we want to learn that too. We want to see what your interpretation is. And we just hope that it blesses you guys.
So make sure that you please please make sure that you're sharing this video and make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss any of them. And we will be back on for our video call like this next week.
We're going to close with a prayer.
Yeah.
Lord God, we thank you. We come to you humbly today, Lord, just thanking you for this opportunity to come together, Lord. We thank you for the knowledge and the wisdom that you continue to provide us with, Lord. I want to pray for everyone that will see this video, Lord, everyone that will see the clips from this video, Lord, that they will seek after you, Lord, seek after your wisdom, Lord, and that you will start to open our eyes to the opportunities that are already there in front of us, Lord. And not only that, that you will start to build our network and send us individuals that are already aligned with you, Lord, that we can build our empires with, Lord. And we just pray and we thank you for everything that you've done so far. As 2024 starts, Lord, you've already been blessing us, and we accept those blessings, Lord, and we are ready to become the people that you need us to become for your kingdom, Lord. All glory be to you. None of this would be possible without you, Lord. We're selling land that you created, and we thank you for creating this land and giving us the opportunity to benefit from it and to build financial wealth from this land, Lord. as we go over this next week, Lord, we just pray that you would continue to come to each and every one of us, everyone that is listening, Lord. You continue to give them wisdom the same way that you gave Solomon wisdom, Lord, in his sleep. Lord, I pray that you will come to each and every one of our followers in their dreams, Lord, and just start to download information with them, start to download knowledge into them, Lord. And then that you will give them the motivation and the zeal to just go out and chase after the dreams that you've already put on their heart, Lord. You've already given us so many different gifts and so many blessings, and I just pray that you will make them known to us so that we can use them to the best of our ability and for your glory. In Jesus' powerful name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All
All
right,
right.
guys.
See you guys next week.